What's going on, YouTube? I'm back. We have Raptors or Boston Celtics at Cleveland or at Toronto Raptors. Wow, it is 40. Toronto just scored to go up 45-33. So I missed the first 2 minutes, but that's okay. The score hadn't changed really. So Toronto just scored. It's 45-33. Still, I still can't believe that's the third quarter score. That's kind of pathetic. That for Toronto, that's at least a little bit respectable. But for Boston to only score 30 points in the first half, that's kind of sad. Granted, they don't have Kyrie Irving because he's out until the start of the playoffs. But still, to be one of the top two Eastern Conference teams in the Eastern Conference and only get 33 points in the first half, the Boston should be ashamed of themselves a little bit. There's no other way to put it. Then again, Toronto can't really hold it against Boston either. Do I miss Kyrie? Yes, because the Cavaliers have not. That trade that the Cavaliers made in Boston completely busted. Yes, we still have Ante Zizic, but he's pretty much been a bench player. And yes, we have the Brooklyn pick. But right now, the Nets don't have the worst record in the NBA. That's the Phoenix Suns. Unfortunately. Sorry to you, Jose. But, so that pick's probably not going to be the number one overall pick. But then later on, we ended up trading the two main pieces that we got in that Kyrie deal as part of our roster overhaul, sending Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye to the Los Angeles Lakers for Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr., and then sending Jay Crowder to Utah as part of that 3-team trade that got us George Hill and Rodney Hood. So we pretty much blew up. So that pretty much was a busted trade. But yeah, now without Kyrie, I mean, yes, Kevin Love is scoring 20 points, but LeBron's primarily the primary scoring load again. When we had Kyrie, LeBron didn't have to score 30 points a game, or didn't have to. He still did, but he didn't have to. Although they both scored 41 points in the 2016 NBA Finals. Oh, OG Anunoby was the 23rd pick in the 2013 NBA draft. Or 2017 NBA draft. So I believe it is his rookie year. Because we have not had the 2018 draft. So yeah. It's 47-33 with about 8:49 left in the first quarter. And there's Julius Randle, who might be the unlucky one for the Lakers, who gets cut because the Lakers are going to try and go after both Paul George and LeBron James in the offseason. Because Paul George is going to be a free agent, and LeBron James has the option. In the Western Conference, as I said, Houston is 1, Golden State 2, Portland 3, Utah 4, San Antonio 5, Oklahoma City 6, 7 Minnesota, 8 New Orleans. Minnesota is trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time in a while. And they might get Jimmy Butler back in time for the playoffs. So they might not be an easy out in the first round. Although if they match up with Golden State, that might change. We'll see. So it's 47-35. 12-point game. 12-point game now. And I think Valanciunas just got fouled, or did Boston just get fouled? Hang on. Boston just got fouled. Okay. So, I believe that's Marcus Morris at the free throw line. I don't know. Do I think LeBron will leave? Well, Portland is apparently trying to recruit him. The Lakers are trying to recruit him. The Pacers, or not the Pacers, rather. The Lakers are trying to recruit him, so I don't know. I hope LeBron stays. I don't think he would diss Cleveland twice. I don't think he's that type of guy, but at the same time, I really don't know. I mean, he's in his 15th year in the NBA, and yet he's still doing this well. So I don't know. Oh, OG Anubi, or however you say it, just scored. It's 49-37 with about 7.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. What's the final score going to be, like 85-82? Something like that? Or like 85, like 76? Something like that? Because right now, with the rate this game is going at, neither team's going to get into the hundreds. Neither team is going to get into the 90s. The Raptors might barely make it into the 80s. I mean, has this been a good game so far? Yes, but who was my favorite player that we got of the trades? Actually, it's Rodney Hood, because even though Clarkson, Hill, and Nance are all energy guys and can play, and Hill is a veteran, Rodney Hood is a good defender and can score a little bit, so I just think he was the biggest piece. So it's 49-39. Toronto just called a timeout. I haven't really seen DeRozan do anything so far, so Jason Tatum is okay. Linda Smith, hi, because but Jason Tatum will be in consideration for Rookie of the Year too. But as I said in the first half, I think it's Donovan Mitchell who should win Rookie of the Year. Now, the favorite to win that award, as I said in the first half, is Ben Simmons. But the reason I don't think Simmons should win it is because even though Philadelphia is going back to the playoffs, and Ben Simmons has been getting triple-doubles a lot lately, I just don't think Ben Simmons hasn't had to carry the Philadelphia 76ers like Donovan Mitchell has. He's had the help of Joel Embiid. Whereas, even though Rudy Gobert has been there for Utah, he doesn't score a lot of points. He's more of a rebounder and defender. It's Donovan Mitchell who's the main person carrying the load for Utah. So, if I were a voter, I would vote for Donovan Mitchell for Rookie of the Year. And for MVP, I would give it to James Harden. Because even though I'm a Cavaliers fan, you can't just go, LeBron gets the MVP in 2016, 2015, 2014. No, you can't do that. Granted, I wish Stephen Curry had not won unanimous MVP in 2016, but the media and all the NBA was so enamored by his shooting that that's why I believe he won unanimous MVP. But that's 2 years ago. So I don't think that still applies to today. To this year. But Stephen Curry shouldn't even be in the MVP discussion. If there's nobody from the Warriors actually should be in the MVP discussion. right now. I think it's James Harden's award to lose. Because think about this, the Rockets. Everybody was expecting the Warriors to be the top seed in the Western Conference again, but that hasn't happened. It's Houston who's leading the Western Conference. Look at these standings. Oh, the Pistons lost, so Milwaukee just clinched. So those 8 teams, Toronto, Boston, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Washington, Miami, um, Indiana, and Milwaukee all clinch a playoff spot. 11 of the 12 Raptors have scored. Good move by Serge Ibaka. I'm actually surprised DeMar DeRozan isn't more in the MVP discussion. I think he should be. And I support that. I love that. DeRozan is from Los Angeles. He was a free agent, had the option to go to the Lakers, but said no. We went to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2016. I'm staying with the Raptors. He does have 11 points. So, not that great of a performance as Al Horford makes the shot. I'll let you watch the game for a little bit. Hang on. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a lifetime goal to see a game at every NBA team's arena. And I am up to 18 right now. Although originally I thought I was up to 19 and 20, but some adjustments had to be made. But anyway, I've been keeping track of which fans have been the loudest at which arenas. And so far, the loudest arena that I've been to has been right here. The Air Canada Center. As you see, DeMar DeRozan, who has 14 points, 5 of 14 on field goals, and 3 of 4 on three-point field goals. But yeah, Air Canada Center has been the loudest arena, which is surprising to me, because when I went to see the Warriors in 2013, although they weren't what they are now, I was expecting Oracle Arena to be this loud arena where I couldn't even hear myself think. And also, Boston is 10 of 10 on field goals, and Toronto is 4 of 4. But anyway, Golden State, when I went to the Warriors game, they were playing the San Antonio Spurs, who were on some ridiculous winning streak. I don't remember exactly the details, but I was expecting the Warrior Oracle Arena, which is the oldest arena in the NBA actually, to be like this loud arena, but it wasn't that at all, so it was a letdown. But when I went to Air Canada Center, the Raptors were playing the Utah Jazz, and Raptors fans were in it the entire game, from tip-off almost until the end, pretty much. They were chanting, "Let's go." They were chanting it like this: "Let's go, Raptors." That's it. The most passionate fan base I've seen. Because although a lot of the fan bases I've seen on this road trip so far have gotten into the game once it got into the fourth quarter and it was loud, or like it was a close game. Like, yes, I understand why fan bases do that, but I don't like it. It's like, why are you only interested in the game? It only in the fourth quarter when it's a close game. You should be cheering for your team the entire game. That's just my perspective, but it, it is what it is. 55-43. No, 55-45. Toronto leads with make that 57-45 with about 350 remaining in the third quarter. And like I said, unless this game gets into like a 30-point game or something, I'm gonna go until the end of the game, because this is a big Eastern Conference matchup. Oh, that's good sportsmanship by Kyle Lowry helping Terry Rozier up. But Boston, I don't know how Boston has been able to do what they've done without Kyrie Irving, without Gordon Hayward for the entire year, and yet somehow they're still the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. Toronto, I was kind of expecting this, not fully expecting it though. I was expecting them to be one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference as Kyle Lowry hits a 3 to go up 60-45. But I don't know if I was expecting the Raptors to be the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And that could make a big difference for them. Say the Cavaliers and Raptors both make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and it gets to a Game 7. The Raptors would much rather play Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Toronto instead of playing Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals at Quicken Loans Arena. Although, here's the interesting thing. Over the past 3 years, when the Cavaliers have played the Warriors in the finals, they have not been the number 1 seed. So that's interesting. But, as I said, the Raptors arena is one of the loudest arenas in the NBA. That's one I would love to see a Warriors-Raptors finals. Even though the Warriors would probably win that matchup, it would be the two loudest arenas in the NBA, in my opinion. So that's why I would personally like to see that matchup, just to hear both arenas. And I think the Raptors could give the Warriors a decent fight. Maybe like 5 or 6 maybe 5 or 6 games. More likely a sweep. But you never know. So it's 60-46 now. Greg Monroe, he's actually been a good pickup for Boston. Started his career with the Detroit Pistons, traded to the Milwaukee Bucks, later signed with the Phoenix Suns, and then I believe he got traded from Phoenix to Boston. I might be off on that. I'm not 100% sure. But it's 60-46 right now with a break in the action. So let's check on Blues Blackhawks. Or, no, Blackhawks Blues. I said that wrong. It is 3-2 St. Louis with about 4 minutes remaining. And this game does not affect the Columbus Blue Jackets, as I said earlier, because both teams are in the Western Conference. The Blue Jackets are in the Eastern Conference. The Blackhawks are not going to the playoffs. It's 3-2 St. Louis. The Blues and Blackhawks did have a very good playoff series a couple years ago, which the Blues won in 7 games, and then lost to the San Jose Sharks, I believe it was, in the conference semifinals, and then the Sharks beat the Predators, and then the Sharks lost to the Penguins in 6 games in the Stanley Cup final. But anyway, getting back to the NBA. So, the Western Conference is the superior conference. Think about it. All the great talent, except for LeBron James, is in the Western Conference. Like, Paul George got traded from Indiana to Oklahoma City. What conference is Oklahoma City in? The Western Conference. Jimmy Butler traded from Chicago to Minnesota. Minnesota in the Western Conference. Chris Paul traded from the Clippers to the Rockets, so Western Conference to Western Conference. Durant, Oklahoma City to Golden State, Western Conference to Western Conference. So it, the only player like All-Star that went from Western Conference to Eastern Conference was Gordon Hayward. He went from Utah to Boston. So I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know why the Eastern Conference is so bad. Even though LeBron, like, when was the last time a LeBron James team didn't win the Eastern Conference? 2000, 2010 was the last time. Yeah, 2010, when the Celtics went to the NBA Finals against the Lakers. Before that, it was 2009 and 2008. So, but 2007, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, and 2017, a LeBron James team has won the Eastern Conference. Geez, the Raptors, 38 points for the starters, 22 points for the bench, 16 field goals, and 14 turnovers for Boston so far as Kyle Lowry misses the free throw. 2:44 left in the third quarter. 60-46, Toronto leads. So, Toronto will be lucky to get 90 points by the end of the game. Boston will be lucky to get 70. The scoring leaders: Al Horford 11, Monroe 9, Morris 9. Those are the three scoring leaders for Boston. DeRozan 14, Lowry 11, Ibaka 6. Those are the scoring leaders for Toronto. It is 61-46 now. Nice pass by Lowry. Pascal Siakam gets it back to DeRozan, who went to USC. Drafted by the Raptors. I don't remember what year he was drafted, though. DeRozan makes the nice layup, and it's 63-46. So the Raptors might be starting to open up this game a little bit. We'll see, though. Boston's not totally out of this game yet, but Toronto might be starting to open up the game a little bit. A minute 41 left, 63-46. Toronto is a different team this season. I don't know why, but something changed with them. I don't know if it's like the personnel they have. I don't know what it is, but something has changed. Something has changed about the Raptors this season. That's different than last season or even 2016. I don't know what it is. I know it's partially personnel, but something else has changed with the Raptors. Fred VanVleet for 3, and it's a 20-point game, 66-46. So the Raptors have definitely taken control of this game so far. Actually, regardless, I will be doing to the end of the game. Boston has 48 points with a minute remaining in the third quarter. Yeah, Boston will be lucky to get 70. Toronto might at best get high 90s. Philadelphia pushes winning streak to 12 games with a win over Detroit, which officially eliminates the Pistons from playoff contention again, and that means that Milwaukee clinches a playoff spot. So that means 3 of the 5 teams in the Eastern Conference Central Division are going to the playoffs. The Cavaliers, Pacers, and Bucks. Raptors and Celtics, I believe, are in the same division. So right now it would be Raptors, Celtics, and 76ers, I believe, are in the same division. So that division will be sending 3 teams to the Eastern Conference playoffs, and the Southeast Division will be sending 2 teams, Miami and Washington. So that's how it is in the Eastern Conference. The Pacific Division will only be sending 1 team, possibly, which is the Golden State Warriors. The Los Angeles Clippers might get in. The Southeast Division, or no, Southwest, I should say, San Antonio and Houston and New Orleans. So 3, potentially. The Northwest, Utah. I know Utah and Portland. That's 2. Let's see. I don't think Denver is. And Minnesota, actually, that's 3. Denver might, so that would be 4. Who else? Oh, and Oklahoma City. They're in playoff contention, so potentially all 5 teams in the Northwest Division could go to the playoffs. I wonder how often that's happened. I think that's Marcus Morris making a 3. It's 67-53. So it's 20 seconds remaining. And it is 67-53. Toronto leads Boston. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. End of the third quarter. Toronto 67, Boston 53. Very low scoring game so far. As I've said, Toronto right now would be lucky to get 90. It would maybe high 80s right now. And Boston would be lucky to get 70 right now. Honestly. It's been a very defensive-oriented battle, which is interesting. Yeah, Philadelphia pushes winning streak to 12 games with 115-108 victory over Detroit, eliminating Pistons from playoff contention. Pistons have not been to the playoffs since 2015. So, I'm surprised the Pistons still have Stan Van Gundy as their head coach. Because he has under-delivered. He really has. I mean, he was supposed to come in and help the Pistons get into serious playoff contention, be potentially a threat, but no. DeRozan, first quarter, 5 points. Second quarter, 3 points. Third quarter, 8 points. Total 16. So DeRozan's played well, but he scored 17 points last night. So 16's not that much of an improvement. Really. It's really not an improvement at all. It's actually a slight decline. 17 plus 16, that is a total of 33 points for DeRozan over the past 2 games. That is going to be a good game Saturday night. Houston against Oklahoma City. In Houston. Anyway. St. Louis and Chicago. It is intermission, not halftime. There is no halftime in hockey. And St. Louis leads Chicago 3-2. But anyway, the main focus of this vlog is the Celtics at Raptors game, as I said. So, and as I said in the first half video, this game directly impacts the Cavaliers because the 2 seed could be, whoever the 2 seed is, could potentially be the opponent if the Cavaliers get out of the first round of the playoffs. So I just got, oh, whoops, sorry. So I just got asked if I heard that Tyronn Lue is coming back to coach tomorrow and will be coaching. I did hear that. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, to be honest. Because Tyronn Lue is our head coach. Yes, I understand that. But for some reason, we seem to be playing better under Larry Drew. So, I'm not sure how I feel about Tyronn Lue coming back and coaching. On one hand, it's good that we're getting our head coach back. Wow, the Celtics lead the NBA with 10 comeback wins when trailing by 10 in the second half. So that's interesting. But as I said, I was at the game last night, and we seemed to be playing better under Larry Drew. So, and we actually seemed engaged on defense. So I'm not sure how I feel about Tyronn Lue coming back and being the head coach. I'm not sure if I like it. No, it would not be the 76ers moving into third place. I believe it would be the Pacers, not the 76ers, because the Pacers are in fourth place in the Eastern Conference, not the 76ers. The 76ers are the 6th seed. But it is 69-55 right now, Toronto. Yeah, I think it's Indiana, Washington, Philadelphia. That's how I think the 4, 5, 6 standings are in the Eastern Conference. 69-55. 10-25 left in... Yeah, Wizards are the 6th seed. Wizards are the 6th seed. But I think it goes Pacers, 76ers, Wizards. I don't think it's 76ers, Wizard, or 76ers, Pacers. No, I know it's not. It goes Raptors, Celtics, Cavaliers, Pacers, Raptors, Celtics, Cavaliers, Pacers, 76ers, Wizards. I'm almost 100% sure that's how the top 6 standings are in the Eastern Conference, followed by Miami and Milwaukee. I might be slightly off, but I believe that's how the standings are. So there's about 10 minutes remaining. it goes, oh, he, it goes Raptors, Boston Celtics, Cavaliers, 76ers, Pacers. So, yeah, I guess you're right. If the Cavaliers do lose tomorrow, Philadelphia would move into the 3 seed. So, LeBron James has never been lower than the 2 seed in his career in the playoffs. So, this will be different for him. So, but again, I'm not sure how I feel about Tyronn Lue coming back and coaching for the Cavaliers for us tomorrow. Because, as I said, at the game yesterday, I felt like we played better under Larry Drew. So, by no means am I saying we should fire Tyronn Lue, but I I just don't know. I I just don't know. No, I have not seen John Wall's new look with the new hair and the dreads. Oh God, John Wall with dreads. I could not picture that. Ugh, that just does not sound right. Ooh, wow, Toronto actually has 73 points and Boston has 60. And there's still 9:38 left, so this might be a slightly higher scoring game than I thought. I don't think it's gonna be a. I don't think Toronto's getting into the hundreds. I don't think they have enough. They have enough time to get into the hundreds. Maybe Toronto gets into the low 90s. That's all I see right now. 9 minutes, 30 seconds left. 73-61. This is still a tight game. Boston can come back. They've come back 10 times. But as I say that, Fred VanVleet makes the layup to go put the Raptors up 75-61. Boston leads the season series 2-1. And I think that's because they're in the same division. So they have to play. Lonzo Ball. He's a good player, but the Lakers really need to fix his shooting motion. Because think about this. The general way to shoot the basketball is straight up like this with two hands. Like that. What Lonzo does, hang on 1 second. What Lonzo Ball does, though, is instead of shooting like that, he brings his hands over like this and shoots like that. It really doesn't make sense logically. It just doesn't. And yes, he's had a good career. He just had a good or decent year. The Lakers should try and fix that. Because he's not going to do well in the NBA if he has the shooting motion like that. Although Shawn Marion had a very weird shooting motion. He played pretty well in the NBA with the Lakers and the Suns. Or not with the Lakers. With the Lakers and the Mavericks. But generally, he's going to follow the usual shooting motion. So, 78-64. And Mike Breen just said it perfectly. There have been times in the second half where it's looked like the Raptors are going to pull away and win, and then the Celtics will come back and make a mini run to close the distance. It's 78-64, 7:45 left, as Greg Monroe gets to the basket, and it's 78-66. Example A. So, 7.5 minutes left. And timeout Toronto. And Toronto now has 3 timeouts left. Both teams have 3 timeouts left. Greg Monroe left one-on-one against Nogueira, gets right to the rim and gets an easy dunk. So, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Tyronn Lue being the head coach. Am I scared of any team in the East? Not really. I mean, am I a little bit nervous about the Raptors, Celtics, and 76ers? Yes, but I don't think I'm scared of any teams in the Eastern Conference. I think I'm more scared of teams in the Western Conference like Houston and Golden State. Okay, maybe not scared, but more nervous, I would say. Because I don't think we match up between those two teams with how our roster is right now. I think we match up better with Houston. I think we would match up very poorly with Golden State if we were to play them again. They actually, yeah. Granted, I don't. Top three, like my three, who are my top three favorite players of all time, or my top three, if that's what you mean, my top three players of all time. Number one has got to be Shaq. No. Who would be my number one favorite player of all time? This is a tough one. Paul Pierce is definitely in there. Kobe's definitely in. Kobe's got to be number one. Paul Pierce is number two. LeBron is three. I would put Shaq number four. Chauncey Billups maybe number five. Because I didn't get a chance to see Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan play, so. But I did get to see Shaq and. Oh, wait, no. Not Shaq. Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but I would also include. I don't know. That's a tough question. Paul Pierce would definitely be in there. Tracy McGrady. Paul Pierce, Tracy McGrady, LeBron, Chauncey Billups, Kobe, Dwayne Wade. I would say all of them are. I would say all of those players are like my favorite players in the of all time right now. Leading scorers: Greg Monroe 17, Marcus Morris 16, DeRozan 16, Fred VanVleet 12, or that might have been Jonas Valanciunas, one of the two. 5 games left in the in the NBA. CJ Miles airballs it, hit the net. So, excuse me, sorry. 78-66. Toronto leads. 12-point game. 7 minutes left. Here comes Boston. This is where Kyrie Irving would have been beneficial because although in the one time where he needed to miss a free throw, in Houston, Kyrie actually made it on accident. That was pretty funny. I do remember that game. That was pretty funny, actually. Fred VanVleet for 3, he's got it. It's 81-66. It's back to a 15-point game. Jaylen Brown from the University of California with the dunk. Not many people thought Jaylen Brown would go as high as he did, being taken number 3 overall in the draft. I believe that was the year Ben Simmons. No. Yeah, that was the year Ben Simmons and Brandon Ingram were selected 1-2. Because those were the obvious picks. It's been that same way the last 2 years. Nobody knew what the Celtics were going to do with the number 3 pick because they had that pick from Brooklyn. People thought that the Celtics might trade the pick. People thought the Celtics might draft a player and then trade that player later on. But no, the Celtics drafted Jaylen Brown, and then last year they drafted Jason Tatum. Kyle Lowry from Villanova, drafted in 2006, makes the layup, and it's 83-68 as they show Drake. Hey, the Raptors might just get into the hundreds. Oh, after all, the low hundreds. 83-70. Al Horford makes it. It's a 13-point game. Toronto did have a 20-point lead earlier in the game, but that quickly vanished. Oh, nice pass from Fred VanVleet to Serge Ibaka, who throws it down, and it's 85-70. 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Here comes Boston. Terry Rozier to Greg Monroe. Back to Marcus Morris. Fouled, but he makes the layup, so he will get the chance for an and one. 85-72. Great pass by VanVleet. Uses the crossover, gets to the top of the key, finds a cutting Serge Ibaka, who throws it down. 85-72. VanVleet is listed as 6 feet tall. No, he is less than that. That's impressive. When he was with Wichita State in college, Fred VanVleet went to the March Madness all 4 years, the NCAA tournament. Serge Ibaka from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Great pass to Nogueira, and it's 87-73. Toronto might get into the hundreds. There's 4, but will they? We've got just under 4 minutes, 20 seconds to find out. I got Houston winning that game because it seems like Oklahoma City is in a little bit of turmoil. But I am actually not going to be watching that game because I have other plans. And then when I get home from the plans that I have, I am going to be watching the pay-per-view portion of UFC 223. Khabib versus Max Holloway and Rose Namajunas against Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So, I will not be able to watch the Oklahoma City-Houston game. Nogueira with the dunk, and it's 89-73. Just under 4 minutes left. I don't think the Raptors are going to be getting to the hundreds now. I don't think they have enough time. Unless they go on some crazy run that allows them to super quick. Shawn Michaels cut his hair. Interesting. I don't really have a reaction for that. 89-73. The Raptors are up late in the fourth quarter. But I don't think the Raptors have Kyle Lowry or DeRozan out on the floor right now, so that's impressive. Yeah, that's actually pretty impressive. It's 3-2. St. Louis leads Chicago. Still in NHL Wednesday night rivalry. And Blues and Blackhawks are a good rivalry. They've had some decent playoff matchups over the past couple of years. But this will be the first time since 1963, I believe it is, that the Chicago Blackhawks and Detroit Red Wings both will not be in the Stanley Cup final for during the upcoming Stanley Cup playoffs. So, that's kind of interesting. Do I think Anthony Davis should be in the MVP discussion? But the problem is the New Orleans Pelicans aren't doing that well. So, it's kind of the same situation as Damian Lillard, except that instead of being on the West Coast, the Pelicans just aren't that great of a team. Even though they're in like the 8th playoff, high in the playoff standings, I just don't think they're that fantastic of a team. But yes, Anthony Davis should definitely be in playoff or in MVP discussion. That's a weird T-Mobile commercial. Kid takes a picture on his iPhone. On exams this week, somebody's busted. Anyway, though, so NBA playoffs are going to be interesting. There's going to be a couple teams that haven't been there for a while, but many of the same teams, like, about what? What? What are my thoughts about Devin Booker and his future? I don't know. I'm not sure when he's going to be a free agent, but since the Suns haven't really done anything so far, I don't think, will he be a valuable role player for a playoff team? Yes. But could he be like a superstar? Not right now. Geez, the Raptors have 44 points off the bench. Stars have 45. 15 points off the bench for Fred VanVleet. So, and Boston's got the easy dunk, and it's 89-75 with 3.5 minutes left. So, Toronto might get into the hundreds, might not, but it is 89-75. 3 minutes remaining, first half. 3 minutes remaining, 3:11 remaining, second half, not first half. The Suns won't be in the playoffs for a while. They are in shambles. But the playoffs should be interesting. I would love a Houston Golden State Western Conference Finals, especially with Golden State not having home court advantage. How would that affect the series? Would that change the series at all? Or would Golden State still find a way to win? I don't know. Al Horford for 3? No. 2:30, 2.5 minutes remain. Ibaka with the dunk, and it is 91-75. So at this point, I don't think the Raptors are getting into the hundreds. High 90s. Timeout Boston. So Toronto and Boston, since I think it's pretty safe to say Toronto is going to win this game, but so they are going to split the season series, meaning Boston will not get the tiebreaker. How will they determine that if the two teams are tied at the end of the season though? I don't know. That'll be interesting. So we'll see. Quick side note: the Minnesota Twins just beat the last undefeated team in Major League Baseball. The Pirates just lost. But that was just a quick side note. That's not the main point. I think Oklahoma City would have been better off not trading for Carmelo Anthony because he is so much of a ball hog. I feel like it's not allowing Paul George and Russell Westbrook to really work together the best way they can. And it looks like Boston is mailing it in now. Yeah, Boston's mailing it in. It's not they have given up. It's 91-75. Some bench players shooting for them now. But I'm going to stay with this game. It's 91-76. Hey, the Philadelphia 76ers. Gershon Yabussi from France. 91-77. 2:18 left. Yeah, the Raptors definitely are not getting to 100 points. Two minutes remain now. 2 minutes remain in the first half now. Serge Ibaka hits for three, and it's 94-77. But I just don't see the Raptors getting 100 points this game. 94-77. 17-point game. Pass out. Boston shoots a three. No. And the rebound is no good, but that pass is stolen. But that shot is missed. 94-77 still. A minute and a half remaining. Yeah, Toronto is definitely not getting to 100 points. They can just milk the clock at this point. Nogueira, no. And it's stolen by Boston. 1 minute remaining. Or no, a minute 20 left in the fourth quarter. That would be weird if it was 94-77 and it was the first half. But that's not possible. So Toronto bounces back after losing last night 112-106 against us. And it's, yep, 94-77. Toronto is going to come away with this victory. 45 seconds remain. And I will be staying with it for the remainder of the time. 40 seconds left now. Toronto can just dribble out the clock. Well, no, they can't because of the shot clock. But they can let a lot of the clock dribble come off. And Toronto will get 96. 20 seconds. And Toronto fouls Boston for some reason. And there's 16 seconds left. Why is Serge Ibaka still in? I don't know. But anyway. It is 96-77. $96-77 now. 16 seconds left. Oh, the Blackhawks just tied up the game with St. Louis 3-3. $96-78. So 10 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's going to do it. The Raptors defeat the Boston Celtics 96-78. Hope you enjoyed this sports vlog. If you did, punch that like button like a UFC player and punch that subscribe button. Until next time, this is Ungood to the Max, signing off. Go Cavs, go Jackets, and go Nova.